Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going over occults. So we're going to get into a little bit of Scientology. We're going to get into a little bit of Freemasonry, and we're just going to bounce around. We're going to bounce around to a lot of different cults and deep dive into a lot of different things that make people go. And so definitely strap in for this one. It's a very good deep dive. I love it. It was fun getting all the clips for it. And again, any comments, anything out there anybody's thinking, just drop it down in there. But let's just run it. Let's get into it, y'all.
East Grinstead. On the surface, East Grinstead is just another bland town in Sussex, but it does have some incredibly creepy residents. On the outskirts is St Hill Manor, which is a major headquarters for Scientology and used to be the global headquarters and L. Ron Hubbard's home. Rumour has it that Tom Cruise actually used a wing of St Hill Manor to isolate during the first 3 months of lockdown. But it gets weirder still. A major temple for the Mormons and a little village for them all to live in is also in East Grinstead. And it gets weirder than that. Wickenden Manor, just up the road, is used by mysterious Catholic sect Opus Dei. All you need to know about these chaps is they crop up in Dan Brown novels. The Rosicrucian Order have their global HQ just outside East Grinstead and apparently guard a body of secrets integral to the universe. I'm not sure how true this is, but I'm pretty sure their leader is in the same WhatsApp group as the Masons and the Illuminati. There is also supposed to be ancient henges in the woodland surrounding East Grinstead where Pagans and Druids perform rituals. Picked off if you think I'm going to try and get footage of any of that. And the Jehovah's Witnesses also have a large presence here, but let's be honest, how boring are they compared?
Overrun by cults and fringe religions. It's got alien exorcisms, secret midnight rituals, and believers who hurt themselves for God. Today I'm going deep inside as many as I can, from Scientology to a Mormon temple to a forest where people worship naked under the moon. We're even having a pint with a real-life Freemason.
Are there secret handshakes?
Oh yes.
I just got frightened because I was seeing dead people.
You can see there, it's just normal British houses. You come into this road, and all the houses here are Steiner-inspired ones.
So welcome to East Grinstead. Our first stop is Wickenden Manor, home of Opus Dei.
Hidden down a secret lane is a place called Wickenden Manor, which hides one of Catholicism's most secret organisations. Some members still whip themselves, or wear metal chains around their thighs, or sleep in hair shirts, all to stay pure for God. Opus Dei officially says these acts are voluntary, they're down to personal preference, and you don't have to do any of it if you don't want to. It was featured in the Da Vinci Code, which has given it a bad reputation. Albino monks whipping themselves with dark oaths in crypt churches. Standing here, you can see why the myth survives today. It's too perfect, it's too quiet. We're going to have a quick drive and look at the place itself now.
No signage or whatever to suggest it is what it is here.
It's a beautiful house. Imagine Downton Abbey if they all just whipped each other.
Wow.
These guys are crazy, bro.
It's nice, but creepy. I want to turn around and get out fast.
In 1928, and the rumor on the street is that Opus Dei actually bailed out the Vatican Bank for $250 million in 1985. Apparently, the Vatican Bank has had a lot of history of dealings with the Italian mafia financier. It's been alleged that Opus Dei was founded basically as a form of Christian masonry with aims to covertly dominate the world. Other controversies include, get ready for these, mortification of the flesh, sexual abuse, recruitment of teenagers, elitism, misogyny, cult-like recruiting practices, high control of members and isolation, secrecy, being a Catholic version of Freemasonry, having too much independence from the Catholic Church, illicit use of psychiatric drugs in its central headquarters, and supporting the authoritarian or right-wing governments. Mortification of the flesh, according to Opus Dei, includes three main forms. One is sleeping on planks instead of a mattress if you are a childless woman, wearing circular chain silices with dull points around the thighs that cause pain but no bleeding for 2 hours a day, and
Opus Dei has one goal: to bring about a theocratic world order. Not through prayers, but through policy. One of their hubs? The Catholic Information Center in Washington, D.C., just a stone's throw away from the White House. That's where Leonard Leo spent years growing his network. That's where Supreme Court justices were groomed. That's where seeds of Project 2025 were planted. And who supports it? Clerics tied to Opus Dei, lawyers, judges, donors, all united by a vision of Christian dominion. Justice Scalia a regular at the Catholic Information Center. So was Bill Barr. Mike Pence even orbited in that circle. It's not a conspiracy, it's a real-world strategy. They fund legal fellowships, they train clerks, they run high-level seminars for judges, all while preaching religious liberty. But their version of liberty means rolling back your rights. They're building something. Slowly, carefully. Not with ballots, but with judges. Not with transparency, but with think tanks, donor networks, and closed-door influence. This is not just religion, this is political warfare.
Home of Scientology.
The religion was built by a guy called L. Ron Hubbard, who previously wrote sci-fi. Just to be super clear, they are a religion and not a cult. And apparently the rumor is that they know exactly who you are before you even get to the gate. So if they are watching, then please like and subscribe. Scientology has some super famous members like Tom Cruise, Grant Cardone, and John Travolta, who famously tried booking a table at the local KFC here. I'm genuinely fascinated by Scientology. I visited the headquarters in LA too. They're notoriously unfriendly to YouTubers, so we're going to leave it there. No poking of the bear. We're just showing you where they are and how it works. It's a place where Tom Cruise himself apparently isolated during lockdown. So interestingly, there is a brawl going on in East Grinstead at the moment between Scientology and an ex-member. He claims that Scientology has its hands all in the local council, whereas Scientology claims that this guy was kicked out for stalking.
It uses a procedure called fair game, which is to say that if you're opposed to Scientology, you do not deserve to live, and everything can and may be done to silence you. I was harassed on a daily basis for 16 years after I left Scientology and spoke out. There's a process called noisy investigation. It's written up in Scientology and approved by Ron Hubbard. And what a Scientology agent will do is they'll get a list of everybody you know, including your doctor, your dentist, your travel agent, whoever, your friends, your family. They will then contact every person on the list, whether directly or on the phone, and say, we're gathering information about John Atack or whoever, and their criminal background. We found out some really interesting things already. I had this done to me, and my mother-in-law, one of my brothers-in-law, decided to talk to the private detective who'd been sent over from Los Angeles. He travelled as far as Australia to find people who'd known me. It was put about that I was a recovered heroin addict. I'd never taken heroin in my life. I was a rapist. I'd attempted murder. I'd murdered children. These are standard stories that are told about critics of Scientology. They're made up. I was told when the head of their harassment division in the UK defected after a conversation with me, and she told me that they'd spent £2 million harassing me up until that point. It was incredibly destructive. It took me 17 years to recover my physical health. All through litigation, they sued me in America, they sued me here, and through legal costs I was bankrupted. My marriage fell apart, my health came apart. It took me about 17 years to get back to a place where I could
Galactic Lord Xenu in Scientology. The evil Lord Xenu. But there was once a point in time that for decades the Galactic Lord Xenu's existence was the greatest secret in all of Scientology. So seeing former Scientologists relive the moment that they learned about the Galactic Lord Xenu is something else. The crazy thing is they all saw it for what it was. They knew it was ridiculous, but they had all painted themselves into a corner to the point that they had to believe it. It couldn't all be for nothing. And even though they're laughing and their reactions are humorous, it's important to remember that they had already lost years of their lives just to get to that point, and it would be even more years before they were able to let go of everything and leave the Church of Scientology. Check this out.
Well, what does a Scientologist believe? You need to be in Scientology for 7 or 8 years and in for a couple $100,000 before you finally learn this backstory of Xenu the Galactic Overlord. Now, if you were told that on day one, how many people would join?
You hear these stories people tell of these abilities they've been able to gain.
Could read your mind and they could move objects at will, and they could, they were cause over matter, energy, space, and time.
And they give me the secret materials, which I've been hearing about all this time. They're handwritten by Hubbard. And I read it. It doesn't make any sense.
This gobbled story that didn't make sense.
I think, remember, for one fleeting second thinking, well, maybe it's an insanity test. Maybe if you believe this, they kick you out. Maybe that's it. This guy, space guy.
Galactic overlord, this was the prison planet and people being captured and being brought to planet Earth.
What? The are you talking about? I'm down for the self-help stuff.
What is up? So you made it to the 10-minute mark. This is just a normal check-in. I think I'm going to start doing this where every deep dive or every big one is 10 minutes. So hopefully, you guys can get used to that. Definitely thank you for tapping in. If you've made it to 10 minutes, please make it to the end. Every video is just going to get better and better. But in general, man, this stuff is crazy. And the thing is I truly do believe in all of this. Like, I believe, in a lot of different views and a lot of different theories, not just about these people in these cults, but deeper, like other theories within the cults and rules and regulations and etc., etc. But in general, man, definitely leave comments down in there. I want to hear everybody's thoughts. I want to pick your brain. But let's just jump back into it.
It's believed that 75 million years ago, this section of the galaxy was overpopulated. So the evil Lord Xenu rounded up billions of the alien species, brought them all to Earth, dumped them in the volcanoes in Hawaii. Their spirits then went floating up into the atmosphere. And these days, those confused spirits attach themselves to us. They're called body thetans, and that's where a lot of our negativity comes from. L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology, wrote most of his stories here. And now it's a major pilgrimage spot for Scientologists all over the world, including the celebrities. Tom Cruise spent lockdown 1 here. He also bought a house for about 4 million quid nearby, which he has now since sold to Peter Andre. Peter Andre has nothing to do with Scientology. I told you East Grinstead was weird. It gets weirder.
Next, we head into the Ashdown Forest, home of Winnie the Pooh and other bear people.
This is where it's said that the Druids and the Pagans and the Satanists come and do whatever it is they do on an evening. And I know what you're all thinking. Out of everything going on in East Grinstead, this is probably where the fun is.
Deep in these woods, the stories are that there are rituals taking place. There are drums banging, there's Satanist symbols in trees, sometimes even complete nudity, people dancing in circles. Can't see anything today, but if you can imagine at night time sometimes, shit goes down here. Though it's obviously the middle of the day, there's nothing going on right now, but cameraman Harry has offered to get his kit off and dance around a bonfire, so let's do this. I had a message last night from someone saying there's secret ayahuasca rituals in the forest around Forest Road.
I've not heard about it, but that would not...
Ashdown Forest, the sprawling heathland and woodlands in East Sussex, is not only the inspiration for A.A. Milne's Winnie the Pooh, but it also harbours a darker side. The forest is said to be haunted by the ghost of a man who mysteriously disappeared during a camping trip years ago. According to the legend, he ventured into the forest on a fateful night and vanished without a trace. His restless spirit is believed to wander the same paths he once walked, calling out for help. Many visitors who walk through Ashdown after dark claim to hear the sounds of footsteps trailing behind them or distant voices calling their names. Ashdown Forest remains one of the more eerie locations in England, where the line between the living and the dead seems thinner.
1999 years of history, Ashurst Wood in East Sussex was just an ordinary English country village. But then there was a meeting, and the People's Republic of Ashurst Wood, a nation-state, or prawns for short, was declared.
At the risk of cracking a very bad joke, they don't all think you're prawn cracking, but...
Oh, they do, and we are. In fact, it's a prerequisite that we are crackers. Mad and bonkers, and that's great. It's the norm in Ashurst Wood.
Now there are border checks to make sure no one enters or leaves the village without the correct paperwork, a Ministry of Propaganda which doubles as the post office where you can buy your prawn passport, and there are 2 ministries for mental health, which seem among the most popular places to visit.
We have had to admit a lot of people into the Ministry of Mental Health because a lot of the local prawns have gone crackers.
been away over Christmas and I've come back and I haven't got a clue what's going on, and I think they're all gone balmy.
All in all, I was quite impressed with the new republic and was all set to sign up as a citizen. But unfortunately, apparently I've already broken at least 6 of the new rules of the Constitution. So as you can probably see, I'm now being deported. Everybody's insane. I know you're asking, why is a town with a Wetherspoons that looks like a strip club such a hotbed for all of these obscure groups? One theory is East Grinstead sits on the prime meridian, the meridian line which separates the Western Hemisphere from the Eastern Hemisphere. I'm walking straight along it now, so half of me is in the East, the other half of me is in the West, but lots of other places in the world sit on the prime meridian. But East Grinstead also has these things underneath it called ley lines. I don't really know what ley lines are. So you combine the meridian line with the ley lines that run underneath the ground.
Very unique ability, so they can see ley lines.
So ley lines to me are yellow. It's like yellow little lightning strikes in the air, telling me which direction it's going in and how fast. And it goes literally from the ground right the way up to the sky. So there's earth lines and ley lines. Ley lines are man-made. The Stone Age man wanted to trade between different tribes, so they moved magnetic stones into a line.
So this is fascinating. So you could also have this. You could see dead people. You could see these energy lines and everything else.
Yeah.
But you chose not to indulge in it.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I just got frightened because I was seeing dead people and I didn't realise what they were, but they were not normal. And I just thought it was me sort of conjuring them up.
So how do you turn that off then?
I turned my back and said, go away, I don't want anything more to do with any of you. And, they left me.
So the ley line comes through from in front of the church, goes through here, goes through this hedge, and the earth line comes from that way and comes through here.
And you're seeing both right now?
Yeah.
And
so this one's yellow. At the moment it's going very slowly that way, but soon it will swap round.
Whereabouts, like here? Is it big? Is it thick? Is it?
It's about, ley line's about that big.
Right.
Earth line's a bit narrower.
So you're right in the middle of it now?
Yeah.
Did you know that all ancient sites are connected with one another? What about ley lines? The ley lines are energetic, magnetic, spiritual, and very powerful, and they run all over the earth. And by doing so, they weirdly enough connect a lot of ancient sites with one another. They were rediscovered again in 1846. Reverend Edward Duke noted that ancient sacred sites align with prehistoric monuments as well as churches. Now we know it's common practice that churches are built on something older, so whether or not the people in the Middle Ages were aware of the ley lines is up for debate. And we do use ancient lines like longitude and latitude, which were developed by the ancient Greeks. Or way earlier than that, since most of the Greek knowledge comes from the Babylonians and Egyptians and Sumerians, and they say that they got the knowledge from the gods. So where does that leave us? Nowadays, we rediscovered that sacred geometry can be found everywhere in nature. So, is it that outrageous to say that there's a sacred geometrical pattern that goes across our entire planet? So to me, the question more so becomes, why did the ancients do it?
Steiner schools are about freedom and individual destiny in life.
Yeah, no, it's just like an alternative learning, which I think is pretty cool in some ways. Like, I think kids need to be doing more outdoorsy learning and all that kind of stuff.
Is dancing quite a big part of it?
Eurythmy. Yeah, they do a thing called eurythmy, which I think is like, you know how when you do your GCSEs, you've got to do like maths, English, and what like the key ones. Eurythmy is like this dancing thing, and I'm pretty sure it is a GCSE. Dancing and making wave movements with your body, I think.
They do this eurythmic performance and they tell the story, and the 9-year-olds are like, they're the river, or they're the trees, or the older pupils are the actual protagonists, the characters, and it's a blend of dance and acting, and drama they do is as good as something you could see in the West End.
So we're a couple of streets away now. You can see there, it's just normal British houses. You come into this road, and all the houses here are Steiner-inspired ones. They look like futuristic, like cyberpunky.
They're pretty groovy looking.
The roofs are made of copper.
Yeah, copper roofs. So you'll see them when they have to get the roofs redone, they'll be like really shiny, all the colour of copper. Like
the man, Steiner, basically developed Waldorf education back when he was alive in the early 1900s to educate the children of workers in the Waldorf cigarette factory, and kind of just got free rein to develop this curriculum. He felt that he was a clairvoyant and had this way of interacting with these other realms, and believed in basically like a racial hierarchy in a different way than, for example, the Nazis believed in a racial hierarchy, but not that different, not different enough. He thought humans went through different levels of spiritual evolution, and that some races were effectively left over from the previous evolution of humanity. And if we wanted to move on to the next version of humanity, there needed to be this like purity retained within the Aryan
Next,
race.
it's home to the Rosicrucians, who were in East Grinstead and have since moved 20 minutes away. They mix Bible verses, Egyptian magic, psychic powers, and out-of-body travel. The person who founded it is rumoured to not even exist, and nobody from the outside ever gets a look in. Well, I think the Rosicrucians are fascinating.
The Rosicrucian order are said to guard and study secrets around physics, the universe, and our psychology, and even healing. They've learned from the teachings of Solon, Pythagoras, and the ancient Egyptians, amongst many others. Now, this is quite interesting because Plato told us that Solon went and learnt off the ancient Egyptian priests about Atlantis. Obviously, Atlantis did things differently with how they generated energy and moved around and healed and things like that. So if this mob behind me know anything about any of that, it would be nice if they shared it with the rest.
A secret society called the Rosicrucians claim to have the answer in something called the Great Chain of Being. They believe that our souls are on an eternal journey, evolving and growing through countless lives. But it's not just about changing bodies, it's about progression, evolution. Since energy can't be destroyed, only transformed, our soul's essence continues towards a goal. See, the Great Chain of Being says that everything in the universe is interconnected and organized into a hierarchy. It goes like this. At the bottom, you have matter, then plants, then animals, then humans, and finally divine beings. According to the Rosicrucians, each level has its own level of consciousness and spirit. So the journey of the human soul isn't just about experiencing different lives, but also about climbing up the chain. So what's the end goal of this journey? It's not just rebirth, it's evolution towards perfection, becoming
the
divine.
Rosicrucian tradition. This is why it was not accepted by the Catholic Church and things like this. The core of it was that you don't go through any external human being or physical institution to connect a spirit. You connect a spirit directly up your own energy column. You connect to higher worlds, higher beings, spiritual inspiration. You don't have to go through an intermediary.
Hard to make money if you don't have an intermediary.
Exactly. Catholic Church didn't appreciate that at all. Yeah, I was taking away their power. And again, one reason that this Rosicrucian reformulation of the Grail tradition happened around this time. It was the beginning of the Protestant Reformation. There are people saying, we want to still have an understanding of the Christ impulse, but we don't want to be stuck in this authoritarian control structure that the Catholic Church has created. So around that time, the Rosicrucians come
Modern day and age, there has been close associations between the Rosicrucian order and the Masonic fraternity. And in fact, within the Masonic fraternity itself, there are groups referring to themselves as Rosicrucian, which are, they're invitational to Masons that are seeking to do further research. Some of the main teachings that were found within the Rosicrucian tradition included the study of alchemy and Kabbalah and mystical Christianity. The Rosicrucians believed that they could actually create certain elixirs which could heal the body, stimulate consciousness. They were supposed to heal people free of charge. If they were making gold, which they considered a talent of lesser importance, that money should go towards the poor and towards reimbursing themselves for their equipment that they needed to in order to do the operation.
And next we head down the road to New Chapel to see a very impressive Mormon temple.
It marries couples for all eternity and baptizes dead. Since 1958, apparently only 2 outsiders have ever been allowed inside. With my wife for about 3 or 4 years, and as much as I love her, I can't imagine spending eternity together.
The secret names and mystical tokens of the Mormon Melchizedek priesthood are demonstrated by the patron to the worker representing the Lord behind the veil. Present her at the veil and her request shall be granted. What is that?
The first token of the Aaronic priesthood.
Has it a name?
It has.
People that go through these ceremonies, either for themselves or standing in for the dead, experience a tremendous sense of power. Those who have successfully remembered the combination of secret names and handshakes feel responsible for having provided eternal salvation for themselves and the dead whom they represent. Salvation through Jesus Christ is considered by Temple Mormons to be totally insufficient in attaining that personal salvation for
places on earth, not just in terms of their secretive ritual. Back in 1990, the church decided to revamp its temple ceremonies, partially eliminating some of the more gruesome aspects like throats disemboweling and tearing out by the roots. But here's the kicker. Those horrific rituals didn't completely vanish. The vestiges of those barbaricals are still there, lingering beneath the surface. You know, when I went through the temple, I had no idea that those sick, torturous elements still echoed throughout the ceremonies, even though they were a little harder to spot. It was a faint reminder of the Masonic-inspired fanatical nonsense that was once a core part of the ritual. Sure, they cleaned it up a little bit for public consumption, but the underlying mentality of control and fear is still there. The church can try to distance itself from the past, but the ghost of these cult-like practices continues to haunt modern Mormon temples.
For Freemason, it's not often that someone from the world's most secret society offers you a meeting, so we're going to go have a chat, see what's what, ask him some questions, and see what he thinks of the place. Are there secret handshakes?
Oh, yes.
Can you teach us, or are they too secret?
Well, there are, but it's not as sinister or as spooky as you might think. The main thing is that the secret handshakes, and there are passwords and signs, salutes, if you like, but that all goes back when people didn't have certificates to prove their qualifications. You needed to be able to signify that to your potential employers.
So the ceremony itself is something that's gone on for, we don't know, over 300 years.
1717 it kind of began.
Yeah, as far as we know. And this is a one-act play, 30, 40 minutes, something like that, that's been handed down verbally from generation to generation to generation.
From a conspiracy point of view, you know, people say Freemasons rule the world and it's the most secret society ever. From what you experience, it is a social club, and it's nothing sinister. It's just a very normal group of people doing normal things.
Yeah. I wish there was a conspiracy. I wish there was a way that I could get myself... I'm looking for a job at the moment. If anybody can help me get a job, or £1 million, or hook me up with something, it'd be grand. But unfortunately, you pay your money, and it's a social club.
Yeah, I mean, it's true that over the years, I mean, Kevin was talking about the founding fathers. I mean, so many of the American presidents have been Freemasons, and the people that founded America. And so if you want, you could take that spin on it. There are members of the royal family. But in terms of a conspiracy whereby they're all plotting to do something, absolutely.
Anybody familiar with the compasses and square symbol of Freemasonry? With the G in the middle? Well, that's what the G stands for at the highest level. They'll talk about many porch masons. These are the exoteric masons that are given the teachings of the profane, and they think they're in the know, okay? They're given the information, well, this only means geometry, it only means God, etc., okay? One of the things they'll tell you it means at a slightly higher level is that it means gnosis, knowledge. At a higher level, at illuminated levels of Freemasonry, which are above 32nd degree, they will give you what the real meaning of the G inside the compasses and square is. And it is the generative principle. It means Genesis, creation.
So, this was a real heavy one, y'all. Definitely, hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you learned something, man. That's mainly, you know, what the biggest part of my whole channel is about, is learning from the things that I'm giving you, that you get to watch, you know what I mean? So hopefully you just learned something about some of the biggest cults that make people just you know what I mean? So I'll definitely do more deep dives. Definitely, if there's any recommendations for deep dives, y'all, please leave them down there, man. I love going and finding different, clips and videos and documentary type stuff of random crazy stuff like this. So definitely, please, interaction is the key here. Of course, I'll keep making these videos and keep doing what I'm doing regardless, but I want interaction, you know what I mean? Like, I would want other people's thoughts of other different crazy cults and stuff like that, or crazy, like, religions that people follow and stuff like that, or just random different conspiracies and things that you possibly want me to know that I don't know, so you can school me. You feel me? But with that being said, again, thank you for dropping by and watching the compilation of the videos that I put together about different cults around the world. With that being said, stay the positive, never to the negative. Always remember that. Go out by the day, baby. You play, you only get one life to live. You better live it for today. That's